So guys, I'm doing a different video than I usually do today. We're not going to be visiting any restaurants this week. So we are going to be doing the car aspect of this channel. I haven't done a car video yet. That's going to be this week's release. I'm going to be doing a tier list of American muscle cars throughout the years, different generations, different brands. And this is just opinionated. This is for me. You don't have to have the same opinion. If you do, that's awesome, because let's be friends. We're going to be doing a tier list that's ranked S through F. S meaning absolutely the best. F meaning I really hate that. We're going to be choosing from 3 different brands today. We have Ford, Chevy, and Dodge / Chrysler. We're going to be doing the Mustang, the Camaro, Charger, Challenger, and the other Charger, the Chrysler 300. First, we're going to be doing the first gen Mustang. This gen was from 1964 to 1973. In these models, you could either have a straight 6 or a V8. It also introduced the Shelby and the Boss configurations, which are absolutely amazing. I'll put the first gen Mustang at a good A tier. It's a good A tier car. I mean, it looks pretty cool, but it did have the straight 6 in it, which is a little bit of a letdown when it comes to power and overall performance. That's why it's getting an A and not an S, but it is a Mustang, so that's how it's going to be throughout the whole video. I'm a Ford guy, okay? Mustang. You know what? Let's just get through the list. Now we have the Gen 2 Mustang. Oh, there's really not a lot to say about this thing. Gen 2 was 1974 to 1978. It was a lot smaller, also known as the Mustang 2. You can either have a 4-cylinder or a V6. Now the reason it was smaller and it had sucky configurations for an engine is because we were going through the 1973 oil crisis. So yeah, they just had to. But although we were going through the crisis and the Mustang looked and performed like complete crap, it was still desirable, even though it sucked. I think we all know where the Mustang 2 is going, and that is F tier. It sucked. It looks dumb. Why would you want this? Get it out of here. Ooh. Generation 3, the Fox Body Mustang. Not my favorite Mustang, but second favorite Mustang. Look at it. It looks amazing. It's cool. The Gen 3 lasted from 1979 to 1993. It's a Fox Body. It's the 80s. To me, S tier. It's going in the S. I don't care what you say, okay? S tier. Does SN95 mean anything to you? Does Generation 4 of Mustangs mean anything to you? But doesn't mean anything to me because I hate them. Trust me, it looks like a suppository. Why would you want to drive one of these things? They just look horrible. The 90s to early 2000s Mustangs. You couldn't pay me to drive one or own one. I'd sell it. Actually, I wouldn't even get that far. I wouldn't own it. In 1999, they did get a facelift, which looks sort of better. They introduced the 4.6 liter V8, which, whew, I love that engine. Another amazing muscle car, which no one considers it a muscle car, but a Crown Vic, Mercury Grand Marquis, and a Lincoln Town Car. I love those cars. Love them. They may be for old people, but call me old and give me a Mercury Grand Marquis. I don't care. Gen 4 Mustang, you're going in the F tier. Buddy, I don't like you. Don't come here again. On to the Gen 5 Mustang. I don't like it. I don't like the early years of the Gen 5 Mustang. I like when they did the facelift in 2010. Those are my absolute favorite. 2010 to 2014. You give me one of them.
Give me a bag of them, they're gone.
And they're gone. Oh, I just popped my bag in the... Oh! Now, before the facelift, they had the retro styling. They had the headlights, the fog lights. I mean, they look just like when they first came out, except newer. That's why I don't like them. I don't like a new car with old touches. It looks tacky. But it was the early 2000s, so what do you expect? Everything was tacky. From clothing to Mustangs. Before the facelift in the Gen 5 Mustang, you could get a 4-liter V6 or a 4.6-liter V8. In 2011 or 2010, It's one of those. You could get a 3.7 liter V6 or a 5 liter V8. But let me tell you, 2011, 2010, one of those years, I gotta look it up, but going off of memory, to 2014 is the absolute best looking Mustang they have ever made, ever. So because of the 2011 to 2014, I'm sticking with that, 11 to 14. Because of that facelift that they did, it's going in the A tier. Now we have Generation 6. It's a nice looking car, okay? It's a nice car. They have the 2.3 liter EcoBoost, which, I mean, that's cool if it wasn't in a Mustang. It has the 5 liter V8, which is spectacular. And then they did a little thing called the 5.2 liter Voodoo. More liters? Yes, please. Bigger displacement? Yes. The bigger the engine, the better. I will say, I don't like this Mustang solely because they made it look too much. You already know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It looks too much like a Camaro. Stop it. Get some help. So after that being said, I'd say we can put this Mustang, the Gen 6 Mustang, I'm comfortable with a C. Going into the C, I feel like that's a pretty good lukewarm temperature for here. On to the Chevy Camaro. The Gen 1 Camaro, the rival to the Mustang. The only reason it exists is to beat the Mustang. Newsflash, it didn't. Because guess what, Camaro? You're being discontinued. Honestly, the first gen Camaro isn't my cup of tea. It looks like an old person's car, which technically it is. If I was born back then, I wouldn't buy this car. Sorry for the different camera angle, my phone died. Don't know what I was saying. All I'm saying is first gen Camaro, D. Second gen Camaro, my favorite generation of Camaro, okay? It looks badass. Gen 2 was the most successful generation of Camaro that came out. Now, the horsepower did drop a little because of the oil crisis. Thank you, oil crisis. You ruined everything about American muscle. It had a 360 horsepower LT1 engine. But because of the oil crisis, it dropped down to 175 horsepower. What? So actually, no, not because of that. I can't have any hard feelings for this generation of Camaro. Although it's a Chevy, makes me cringe just to say this. But this styling of Camaro deserves a nice A tier. The Gen 3 Camaro, known for the IROC Z. To me, it looks horrible. I know I said with the Fox Body Mustang, it's the 80s, you gotta love it. I don't have to love this, trust me. It doesn't look that good to me. It's too boxy. Yes, the Mustang is boxy, I get it. But it's a Mustang. It lasted from 1982 to 1991. Thankfully, that's over. It's the first time Chevy introduced the 4-cylinder into the Camaro. There's not really much I know about this Camaro, but all I do know, it's going into the E tier. Don't even get me started on the next gen. Oh wait, I'm starting now. Listen here, you little catfish. No one likes you, I promise. You look like a bar of soap. You look like a suppository, just like every other Chevy in the 90s, okay? Get out of here. F tier. F. Down. Bad. Horrible. You know how I said that Gen 2 was my favorite gen Camaro? I was wrong. A little 6-year-old Glenn, you know, I've grown since then. A little 6-year-old Glenn would beg to differ when in 2007, he saw Transformers for the first time. And then in 2010, it became a reality. Bumblebee was a thing. This is my favorite one. It's gotta be, just because of Transformers. It introduced the LS3, 400 whopping horsepower. This is an S tier car. S tier, gotta be. On to the very last generation of Camaro there ever will be. Probably, I don't know. From 2016 to 2023, we have the Gen 6 Camaro. You could get it in a 2-liter 4-cylinder, but why would you? A 3.5-liter V6, again, why would you do that? and a 6.2 liter V8. 2023 was announced that it was the last year of production. So yes, the Mustang really beat the Camaro. So after talking about the Gen 6 Camaro, I'll say, let's put it at a good C tier. And at this part, this is where the video goes downhill and I got lazy doing my research. We've made it to Dodge. Dodge, if you see this, I don't like you. But if I'm talking about muscle cars in America or American-made muscle cars, I have to talk about Dodge because people will probably get mad or wonder, why are you only talking about Ford and Chevrolet? Because they're the only ones that make decent cars, okay? First gen Dodge, it just looks horrible. Second gen Dodge Charger. It's pretty iconic. I mean, in the second gen, you had the Daytona and you had the 500. But like I said, I get lazy through this part of the video. So Dodge, I mean, second gen Dodge Charger, C tier. What were you thinking on the 5th gen Dodge Charger? Look at this thing. Dodge, what were you doing? F tier. There's nothing else to say. Generation 7 of the Dodge Charger. It looks badass. I know it's a Dodge. It looks good though. I'll give it a good B tier. Dodge Challenger. Generation 1, back in the 70s. It looks amazing. It also looks like the new Dodge Challenger. Obviously, that's where they got the design from. I just want to talk about one thing in the Dodge Challenger universe. What were you doing on Generation 2 when you rebadged a Mitsubishi Galant? What were you doing? Other than that, Dodge Challengers are cool. I mean, other than the fact that, and I'm about to say a typical Dodge thing, you're driving a boat. Yes, it has a lot of power, but it has a lot of weight as well. Dodge Challenger overall, I'll give it a C tier. Just all the Dodge, actually no, Gen 2, you're getting an F. But all the other Dodge Challengers, I'll give a C tier to. One more car on this tier list is the Chrysler 300. I don't really care about it, so D tier. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's a weird new video, but if you enjoyed it, please let me know. Gonna be going back to restaurants next week or midweek, it just depends. Hope you like the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to eat and buy local. Thank you guys so much.